Hi, everybody. It is Monday, the 1st of February, or Tuesday, the 2nd of February. And today I just want to review a little bit about what we did last time for class. We had a test over the book, The Bully. We turned it in. So if you didn't turn yours in, turn it in so that you don't have to buy it. So I sent you an email in Schoology to remind you to bring your Bully book back. I handed out The Gun, the new book that we're going to start. So anything that we do now in class will apply to our new book called The Gun. So the other thing we did is we rated Coach Carter and the Bully on a Google form. So if you didn't do that last time, please do so. It is in Schoology, like the third thing down. So you're just rating the book 1 through 5 for Coach Carter and 1 through 5 for the Bully. And we used the clue strategy to the story Coco's Kitten the last time and worked through Clue, which is also on the sideboard and the front board, because Clue is a prediction strategy that you should use for any of your classes, not just reading class, but you should always be looking at checking for clues. Look at the title, the author, pictures, and other reading clues. Then you do the CLU before reading, then you read a chunk of information in any class, then you do the E part. And then you go to L, link to prior knowledge. What do you already know about the subject or the topic matter, whether it's in history class or science or here with a book? What do you already know? Then you do the U part, uncover predictions. I predict that blah, 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 blah. So you make a prediction. Then you read whatever it is that you're supposed to read, and then you do the E part afterwards, examine the reading. So maybe you have to adjust your prediction. Maybe your prediction wasn't quite right. Maybe you need to create a new one. Maybe you need to just think about, what did I just read, and examine what you've read and say it in your head. What did you just read? So that is the clue strategy, and the reason we've been practicing that with different little stories and also with the Bully is because you're also working on that on reading assignment sheet 3-4 for number 3 on the sheet, and reading assignment sheet 5 through 8, which I handed out last time as well. So that is part of that. So that is what we've been working on last week. Now, today I'm going to have you get several things open on your computer. Okay, so everybody open up to Schoology at this time. Okay, so open up to Schoology at this time and go to the black folder and find the daily doc for today. That's the first thing you want to get open. Okay, so you would go to the black folder, the daily doc, find today's date, 2/1/22, and open up today's daily doc. Okay, so it looks like that. All right, so today's daily doc, open that up. Again, it's in the black folder. The other item that you need to have open is the vocab set 6 document. So you'd go to the orange folder and open up vocab set 6, which looks like this. So you should have that open because that is going to help you when you copy and paste from the daily doc to the vocab 6 doc. It's super easy because a lot of kids will just go highlight this part from the daily doc, then they go Control C, then they go whip it right into here, Control V. So they just have to highlight, you would just highlight here, and then you'd go Control V, so you can throw it in there. Then remember, from the daily doc, you have to do the yellow parts on your own. You can use your binder in the back. I also have in the vocab folder under other materials, I also have the whole prefix, suffix, roots, charts, and they're also in your folders in the back or the binder. Okay, so now you should have the daily doc open, vocab 6 from the orange folder. And the last thing to open is the Social Security article that we're going to use applying the clue strategy. So where is that? Pink folder, then scroll down and find the Social Security article that looks like this. Okay, so then you have all the things that you need for today all ready to go on different tabs at the top of your screen. Again, the daily doc, which is like grabbing your binder to do warm-ups, then the vocab doc, and today's article, Social Security. Okay, so let's look at the slideshow here. So we got all our documents open. I already talked about the fact that you rated the books the last time and turned in the bully. If you didn't get reading assignment sheet 5 through 8 from me, please do that now. Raise your hand because I have it all prepared for you on paper this time because I had to change some of the directions. Okay, so the daily doc is what we'll go over now. We are in vocab set 6, and everybody should have gotten the book last time. So again, if you didn't, raise your hand at this time. Okay, so go here to the daily doc. So you go there too. Go to your own so you can copy and paste instead of just looking up at mine. Okay, so we're on set 6 vocab words. Last time we had confident and infidelity. So confident is when you feel bold or you feel good about something, or positive and strong. Infidelity is when somebody is not honest with their spouse usually. Infidelity, not being honest with the one that you're married to. Dishonesty. Today's words are reflection. So re means back, like rewind, review. Flect is to bend, like reflect, to bend. And ION is the state of. Okay, state of. So anything ending in ION suffix is the state of. Like exception, the state of accepting. A definition, the return of something after striking a surface. And then 2 other words, rewind, and then you think of a flect or an ION word and put it there. You use reflection in a sentence, and then I had to rewind the music to listen to it again. And our other word is flexible. Okay, no prefix. The root is flex, and the suffix is ible. You do, ible. You look it up. Okay. Can anybody think of a flex word for here or an ible word? I can think of one, flexor. It's part of your body and tendons. Flexor. And then you come up with an IBLE word. Okay? Then you complete both sentences here. So you have to think of a sentence with flexible and a sentence with flexor. Okay? Again, you can throw those into this document and do the yellow parts on your own. So we're at reflection and flexible. Okay, the next part, we have a warm-up for Paul Langen's book, The Gun. We'll do that in just a moment. I first want to apply the clue strategy to the Social Security article. Okay, so first of all, scroll down to clue on your document and Social Security article. So I'm going to make this bigger. We're going to discuss first clue. Okay, so check for clues, title, author, pictures, reading clues. So if you think about the the story itself, some of you might know that when you get older, you get Social Security. So from the title, you would know that this is for something that has to do with people later in their lives. You might have something to know about the pictures or visuals with the stars, that it has something to do with the government. Okay. And other reading clues is that if you just glance at the reading, you know that somebody created this law of Social Security, but you maybe don't know when. But as you glance at it, you can see numbers and dates. It was a long time ago. So that's the C part. Linked to prior knowledge. What do these clues suggest? Well, one of the clues suggests with the date that it's been around for a long time. Another thing that you already know is that you don't get Social Security yet because you're too young. And then you uncover predictions. I predict that Social Security has changed since 1935 in many ways. Okay, then you read for the E part, examine the reading. So, Social Security. President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act into law on August 14, 1935. This law provided national retirement benefits for a family's primary worker. In later years, benefits were added for the retiree's spouse and children, as well as people who are disabled. The amount a person receives depends on the amount of income the person earned, as well as the length of time that the person paid Social Security taxes. To receive full benefits, a person must retire at full retirement age, which is between the ages of 66 and 67, depending on the year the person was born. Okay, so that's the Social Security article. Then to do the E part, I have to think about, I made a prediction that Social Security has changed. Maybe it hasn't changed. So maybe from examining the reading, I have to adjust my prediction or create a new prediction or reflect on what I've read. I might reflect on the fact that I didn't know you had to wait till 66 or 67 to get full retirement age. I thought it was 62. So then I would have to, reflect on what I've read there. I didn't know that this has been around since 1935 and that President Roosevelt signed the act for Social Security. So those would be E, examine the reading. So sometimes you would just think about what you've read and adjust your prediction, uncovering your prediction. Okay, so that's an example using clue on our daily doc, and I guess we just, went through it together. You didn't have to fill anything in on the chart. Okay, so I'm going to X out of that so that we don't get confused. I'm going to X out of my vocab 6 at this time, and you can do the same. Okay, so at this time, we're going to do a little bit of pre-reading for The Gun by Paul Langan. I already told you that this book is, the sequel of The Bully. You already got the book, and we are going to take out the warm-ups for The Gun. I also have paper copy for the warm-ups, but I would like for you to go into the Gun folder and find the warm-ups for The Gun. So when you come to class, you have the daily doc, but you also have your own document that you're going to get points for warm-ups. So not only am I going to work through some of the warm-ups with you, but you have to fill your own in like you used to in your binder on the document itself. Okay, so open up the warm-ups your own through through the Gun folder. Okay, to begin the story today, we are going to use clue for the author, title, pictures, keywords. So grab your book, and any clues for the title? Obviously, this book's going to involve a gun. Pretty simple, right? It's called The Gun. The author, Paul Langan. You maybe know that Paul Langan was the author of the other book, The Bully. So you can type that in there. Pictures. Look at the pictures. What do they tell you? Fill that in. And keywords. Keywords. Obviously, gun. You can see, other words such as the Bluford series, that's a popular collection of books for teens. So you can see that. You can look at the back. It says payback time, so you know that Tyree might want to pay back to Daryl. At once the four boys closed in, cautious to avoid Tyree's good hand. As they circled, they snickered with excitement, unnerving Tyree. If they had been ganging up on him with anger, it might have been easier to bear, but they did not even respect him enough to take him seriously. He had become a joke, a fool. He had become a nothing. Tyree Hobbs wants revenge. Weeks ago, he was one of the most feared students in Bluford High. But then Daryl Mercer publicly humiliated him, and Tyree lost his reputation. So in the cafeteria, when he, broke his wrist. To get it back, he must take down Daryl. But how? With a broken hand, a troubled family, and no friends in sight, Tyree's options are limited. And when the kids he once bullied start threatening him, his word completely unravels. Desperate to settle the score and regain respect, Tyree sees only one solution to his problems: a gun. Okay, so there's some keywords in there that you know from the back of the book too. Okay, what do the clues suggest? Link to prior knowledge. What do the clues suggest? That bad things can happen when people have guns, that bullying ends up never good. What do you already know? Usually there's revenge. If the bully himself or herself gets into trouble, then there's revenge, and then it really gets bad. Another thing I already know about this. I already know that Tyree is very embarrassed. He lost his reputation because it says it on the back. Uncover a prediction. Okay, make 2 predictions about what's going to go on in this story before we begin. Okay, I'm going to call on a couple of you. What do you predict is going to go on in this story? Okay, so that is using clue to the story, the gun, but we didn't do the E part because you have to actually read on to examine the reading. So we'll do that later on as we read. Okay? So again, that's the warm-ups instead of your binder. The warm-ups for the gun are in the gun folder on Schoology. So the daily doc is something we work together, but the warm-ups you actually have to fill in because that's graded. One of the grading times for it is on February 26th, a Friday. Okay, if you're using paper copy, you'll have to show it to me on the 24th or 5th before Friday, because Friday's distance day. All right, which you can just submit the document. Okay, so before we start reading The Gun, I wanted to just talk a little bit about the author, Paul Langan. I took this information from a reputable source called Scholastic from 2020. And just a little bit about Paul Langan. He was born in Philadelphia in 1972. Paul Langan spent his early childhood in the city before moving with his mother to southern New Jersey. There he attended public schools and later worked a variety of jobs, including salesperson at a shoe store, attendant at a horse ranch, landscaper at a mental hospital, and a night shift stock person in a warehouse. Each job, he says today, could be the topic of several juicy novels. In 1991, he enrolled at Camden County College and a year later transferred to LaSalle University, where he studied creative writing and earned a BA in English. So this guy is no dummy. He's pretty smart. While at LaSalle, he lived with international students, traveled to his roommate's home in Kenya, became a prison tutor, and found the courage to write. After graduation, he worked for a nonprofit agency in Philadelphia and then joined Townsend Press, TP, as an assistant editor. After contributing to a number of TP textbooks and teaching college English courses, Paul reconnected to his interests in creative writing with the Blueford series. He has served as both editor of the series and author or co-author of 5 of the 10 novels: The Bully, The Gun, Summer of Secrets, Brothers in Arms, and Blood is Thicker. So we read The Bully, The Gun, and probably Brothers in Arms after that. His stories reflect personal experiences, including the difficulties of growing up without a father and the many challenges students face in school. Recently, Paul completed a master's degree in education from the University of Pennsylvania. He now lives a stone's throw from Philadelphia and stubbornly clings to the hope that he will one day see a champion Philly sports team. Okay, so that's just a little bit about the author. I kind of had wished that I had shared that with you before we did The Bully, but I forgot. So there we go. So we did our pre-reading activities to The Gun. Again, you should have filled in the warm-ups to The Gun. They're in there. So again, instead of grabbing your binder, you would open up to the warm-ups in The Gun here before class, before we begin, and then you'd always have the daily doc open as well. Okay, so daily doc and warm-ups. All right, back here. Today we will start chapter 1 for The Gun, and then whatever we don't finish will be due for next time. Okay, so again, I'm going to start chapter 1 of The Gun with you, and then whatever we don't finish will be due for next time, which would be Wednesday or Thursday. So finishing chapter 1 of The Gun, making sure your vocab words are caught up. You should have about 6 words done at this time. And then start working on your reading assignment sheet 5 through 8. Of course, those of you who have a little bit of late stuff, reading assignment sheet 3-4 was already due, so now you'll have to use The Gun to complete it and then get going on 5 through 8 as well. And then vocab set 5, steno pad, and test or words were already due. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to stop my video. We're going to start chapter 1. I have the audio to it as well for chapter 1, and the audio is also found in the Gun folder. Just so you know, I should go back over here. The Gun audio book is here. So anytime you have to finish something, you can also listen to the audio. So I'm going to start chapter 1 with the audio as soon as I turn this off. And see ya.